Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. My name's Joe. In this video, we'll be continuing my series using red, white, and blue racing from Plaay Games. This is the second race in a SCRAM 1960 season. I'm not sure how many races I'll do, but I'm going to try to do at least about 10. This is basically a test run for a handcrafted 1970s season that I'm going to do as part of my Mythic Sports Universe here on the channel and on my website at simsportleagues.com. So we had the first race that was run at the Heart of Carolina Speedway. It was a 300-mile race. In this one, we're going to go back a little bit into the roots of racing with a dirt track race. This is a 100-mile race. You can see here, we're going to do it at the Deep South County Fairgrounds. It's a dirt track in the southern U.S., 100 miles, and it's 20 turns, which normally a 100-mile race would be 10 turns. But we have, they modified the rules here because of the short distances. Obviously, NASCAR stopped running 100-mile races long ago. I believe the last one was probably in 71, if I recall correctly. So we're talking about over 50 years ago. But this is kind of a roots, grassroots thing going back to the old days. And so the cards that were created for this set, the track cards, were designed to a few of them at least, are designed to be dirt tracks. And they have a little bit different rules here. You can see for the top group, you get 1 and 2, and then also 2 and 3 is middle group. Depending on when in the race it is, you can see the asterisk indicates use 100 race rules for races run here. Black die 2 indicates middle group on turns 1 to 10 and the top group on turns 11 to 20. And it says no pit turns. So there are no pit stops in this race. It's a 100-mile race. One thing about dirt track racing and the 100-mile races, there was very little in the way of lead changes and things like that. Most of it depended upon qualifying well. But obviously that wouldn't make for much of an entertaining game, so they kind of tweaked the rules a little bit to make sure that we get a little bit of action in here. So I'm calling this race the Spartanburg 100 at the Deep South County Fairgrounds. We're going to place this track in Spartanburg, South Carolina. In my head, I'm envisioning it as something along the lines of the Columbia Speedway, which was a dirt track in Columbia, South Carolina that has been actually refurbished about 10 or 15 years ago. And they do all kinds of events there. But anyway, I don't want to digress too much on that. We're going to get right into the action because I'm hoping to keep this one a little bit shorter than the last one. So the first thing we're going to do is we have our board set up. We have our track. I have my stack of randomly shuffled driver cards. We can see right on the top we have Norm Gundy, so he will be one of our TV drivers. And we roll our 2 metallic dice to get a number that will indicate how many TV drivers we have. And we rolled 2 1s, so we get a whole whopping 2 TV drivers this week. So we know Gundy's one of them. And he does have a gold trophy. And the second one is Mel Roach, who has a bronze trophy. So following our standard procedure here, we roll on the TV list. So we have a TV week here, TV week results chart. So we roll on here. So we'll roll out red and white like we usually do. Red will be the first digit. And we get a 61. So 61, driver makes memorable comments in interview with local newspaper, placement C. Oh, I forgot to roll the blue. So 2. So placement C, trophy driver gains blue die position in middle group. So he will get the second position in the middle group, which is 9th. Now we'll roll for Mel Roach, and I'm going to roll all 3. And we get a 25 and a blue 3. So 25 is TV interview, so we get to do the TV interview side over here. And we get a 26, and a 26 is we'd had our share of problems in the past, so things evened out a little bit that time, I think. Now these are retrospective is what they're supposed to be. So it's Mel's an older driver, he's looking back on his career kind of thing. So placement B is trophy driver gains blue die position in the top group. Now I had a 3 the first time, so I'm just going to give him the 3, even though I rolled a 6 this time for the second roll. We'll just give him the 3 because that was the original roll. And that's it for that. So now we go on to fast week drivers. So we roll our 2 metallic dice again. Hopefully we don't get 2 1s again. Look at that, a 1 and a 2. So we got nice low rolls here. So we're going to take 3 cards, 3 drivers out here. We get Herm Henderson. Let me put him up top. Bernie Straumer and Jim Rentschler. And none of these guys have trophies. So we got an interesting sort or shuffle here. So with no trophies, they go in the bottom group. So we'll put Henderson, Straumer, and Rentschler. Like so. Now we'll do slow week. And that's a 4, so we take 4 for this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now there's one special thing that I didn't do last race that I do want to do this race, and we're going to talk about here in a second. So we have a gold trophy here for Jimmy Bowker first, okay? And so a gold trophy goes next position in the bottom group because he's a slow driver. Now Russ Hartzell here, if you look at his trophy right there, there's a 3 next to it. You have to roll 1 die. And if it's a 3 or less, he's in the race. If it's not, he's not going to race. So he's out of this race. So now we have Ernie Galgano, who has a bronze trophy, which means he goes to the bubble stack. And we have Lake Covington, who has no trophy, so he fails to qualify. So he and Hartzell are already out. So now we go to the remaining drivers that are considered to have had uneventful qualifying weeks. We check the trophy stat symbols of the remaining drivers, each of whom is considered to have had an uneventful race week. No die roll is necessary, simply placed based on the following procedures. So a gold trophy gets the next highest position in the top group. Silver gets the highest in the middle. Bronze gets the highest or the next in the bottom. And then none get the next position in the bubble stack. I'm going to show just a couple. Here's Dave Wedge. He's a silver, but he has a 3, so we have to roll for him. And he rolls a 4 as well, so he's not in the race. Then we get Lincoln Lesko. He has no trophy, so he goes to the bubble stack. Then we have a bronze. Bronze goes to the next position in the bottom group. Then we have another silver, Aaron Burke, with again a 3. He rolls a 2, so he's in. Now silver would get the highest position in the middle stack, middle section. Then we have Lindsey Talby. He gets in. Tommy Stoffel's going to get the pole position with his gold trophy. Then we have Dwight Traynor, who will go to the bubble stack. We have Larry Hilburn, who goes to the silver. And so now I'm going to stop and I'll lay the rest of these out. And I'll mention guys who I had to roll for and didn't make the race here when I return in a second. Okay, so I've run out of cards. So let me go through the guys who did not qualify based on their die roll. So these are trophy guys who didn't pass their roll. So we have Roger Peachy, who failed to roll high enough. Boyce Daly, Joe Cook, Hal Thomas, and Frankie Swain. The last one who did make it in was Wilsey Whiteman. So now we're going to start filling in for the bubble stack. So Galgano's in, Lincoln Lesko's in, Dwight Traynor, Marv Forsberg, Hollis Yoder, Warren Epperson, Stan Perkel, Dino Petrucci, Marie Schlemmer, first woman, and Patch Willis does not make it. Now our pole sitter is Tommy Stoffel. Burl Exum will start second, Mel Roach third, Branch Montana fourth, Kenny Worthington fifth, Eldon Briscoe sixth, Porter Lilly seventh. He was the pole sitter in the previous race. Aaron Burke eighth, Norm Gundy ninth, and Lindsey Talby will round out the top 10. So we are now ready to begin our race. We will start with turn 1. This is a 20-turn race, as I mentioned. Each race is, or each turn rather, is 5 miles. So we will roll our 3 dice, the black and both metallic. And we get a 2 on the black and a 3 on the metallic. So a 2 indicates the middle group on turns 1 through 10. And so we look at the 3, and 3 is smart. So we look at here and we try to find drivers with the smart quality, which our first one is Ross Pettis. So we roll our 3 dice and we get a 2, 3, 5. So he has 5 gas pedals, so 2 is good. 3 in the top group is Branch, Montana, and it's 5 brake pedals. So that is a successful pass. And that's how we do that. Now we get Rocket Felder. He rolls a 5. He's only got 4 gas pedals, so that does not work. We go to Lonnie Lane Sr. He gets a 3-1-6. So the 3 is less than his 5 gas pedals. 1 is Burl Exum and 6 brakes. That is going to result in him moving up as well. Now we roll again for Macaluso, who has the starred smart quality, which means he gets 2 cracks at this. First one does not work because he has rolled a 5 on the red. Second one also is a 5 on the red, so that does not work. Bruce Hodnett, 4-2-2. So he does have 4 gas pedals, so that's good. We're looking at Mel Roach and 2. He has no brakes. He only has 1 from the bonus, so he goes as well. Now Steve Lewis. Now he has the yellow triangle. So if we roll a 6 on the blue die, that is a trouble result for him. And look at that, we actually got that. So that is a trouble result. I misspoke there. The yellow and the blue triangles, we see a blue one here on Burl Exum's card. Those are problems. So more of a mechanical issue than a trouble issue. Trouble tends to lead to things like wrecks and so on. So he's going to have a problem. So when you have a problem, that's a little bit different than having a trouble result. So we have our problem finder here. So we roll our 2 dice. And we get a 41. And a 41 is battery change, drop to front of bottom group. All right. So we'll make this adjustment. For Mel Roach, he's going to drop to the bottom of the group. So when this happens, we have to do this. Everybody behind him moves up. When we get to the last spot here, which would be 19th, we start rolling against the gas pedals of these guys to find out who actually jumps up into that spot. So we'll roll our red die. And so Herm Henderson is the lucky guy. He does have 2 gas pedals, and we rolled a 2, so he gets to jump into that spot, and Roach goes into the top spot in the bottom. And we get a 2, 3, 4. So the 2 is good, the 3 is Ross Pettis, and the 4 brake pedals. Pettis has 2. He also has smart, which gives him 1 more for 3, and he gets a bonus for being in the group, so that challenge fails. Larry Hilburn has got a starred smart, so he rolls a 6, so he's going to roll again. And this time he gets a 5, so he actually fails twice. Talby does not have it, neither does Gundy, and neither does Burke. So that will end turn number 1. We move on to turn 2. And we get a black 1, so top group, and the result is an 8, which is reflex. So we're looking for reflex, and Porter Lilly does not have it, but Briscoe does. Eldon Briscoe has it. So for him, we get a 5. He has 5 gas pedals, and a 4, 3. Now you ignore this, you ignore the white because we're looking at the leader. Stoffel has 2 gas pedals plus a 2 brake pedals, plus a 2 brake bonus. We rolled a 3, so that means that challenge fails. We go on for looking for reflex. Kenny Worthington, he has 5 gas pedals. He rolls a 2 and a 2. Again, we ignore the white. And that's going to fail anyway because Stoffel has 4 brakes. Now we go to Ross Pettis. He rolls a 5. He has 5 gas pedals, so that's good. He has a 3, which is not good, so he also fails. Bruce Hodnett only has 4 gas pedals. That's good, that's not, so again, he fails. Lonnie Lane does not have reflex, so Stoffel holds off the challengers. We go to turn number 3, and we get a black 3, which will be the middle group, and we rolled a 7, which is heat. So now we're looking for heat in the 7. So we have a heat here on Pepper Stockton. And we roll the dice. And we get a 2, 3, 6. So the 2, Stockton is good. The 3 indicates it's Pettis. And the 6 is really high. So that's going to actually be successful. So he's going to jump up here and Pettis is going to drop into the 18th spot. Next is Branch Montana. He gets a 2, 5, 4. So the 2 is good. The 5 would indicate it's Briscoe. And the 4 brake pedals is higher than his brake total, which would be 2. No, 3, because he does have heat, but that's still not good enough. So Branch Montana jumps into the top group. Now we look at Rocket Felder. 1, 6, 4. So we're looking at Porter Lilly, who has no brakes, but he does have heat, so he'll have 2. And the roll is a 4. So that's actually going to result in Porter Lilly getting swapped out with Rocket Felder. Now we move on to Burl Exum, who has starred heat. He gets a 1, 5, 2. So we're looking again, now we're looking at Branch Montana. The 2 is too low, so that will not work. But because it's starred, he gets to try again. And he gets a 3, 6, 5 this time, so he's going to bump Rocket Felder. He actually has a blue triangle, and he rolled a 5. Blue triangle is a 5 or 6, so he's going to have a problem now. So I'll roll the 2. I'll roll red and white. Find what it is. We get a 13. 13 is multiple problems, unable to continue. So his day is over early. That sucks for Burl Exum. He's the first driver out of the race. And so now we have to backfill the positions here. Now we'll roll to see. Roach has a gas pedal rating of 3. He rolls a 5, so he's not moving up. Straumer also has a 3. He rolls a 6 as well. Jim Rentschler rolls a 1, so Rentschler is going to move up. So continuing, we've got Willie Macaluso here. He rolls a 2, 2, 2, so that is triples, which means that we are going to have ourselves a problem. So we're going to roll again here. And we get a 12, and a 12 is cooling problem, roll for repair. Okay, so in our repair rolls, we look at Macaluso's pit rating, which is an E. We are in the first third of the race, so he needs to roll a 7 or lower. And he gets an 8, so Macaluso is the second driver out of the race. All right, let's roll to see who moves up to the next group. It's not Roach. It's Bernie Straumer. Now we move to Steve Lewis. Steve Lewis. We get a 1, 3, 3. So the 1 is good. 3 is Stockton. But, yeah, that's going to work. So Steve Lewis is going to jump into the top group in the 4th spot. And now we will roll for Lindsay Talby, who does have the yellow. And he gets a 4, which is good. Position 3, Steve Lewis, and 5 brake pedals. So Steve Lewis's time in the top group was short. Now we go to Norm Gundy. And he gets a 3, 2, 2. So the 3 is obviously good. 2 is Bruce Hodnett, and the 2 brake pedals, 1 plus 1 is 2. So that fails, but his heat is starred, so he gets to try again. And this time he gets a 2-1-5, so he's going to challenge Lonnie Lane and actually get up there. So Gundy is going to jump to the top into the second spot, and Lonnie Lane ends up in the 9th spot, and that ends turn number 3. Now we move on, and we get a 3 and a 4. So 3 is again middle group, and 4 is skill. So we're looking for skill. So Bernie Straumer has skill. He has a gas pedal of rating of 3. So he rolled a 6, so that's not good. Herm Henderson with only 2 gas pedals. And look at that, he gets a problem. So we have to roll for a problem for Herm Henderson here. He rolls a 16, and a 16 is cut tire undercarriage damage, roll for repair. His pit crew's an E. So in the first third with an E, you need to roll a 7 or lower. He gets a 6, so he manages to avoid the problem. Oh, what am I doing? I'm looking at trouble. I should be using problem. He needed a 3. So he's actually out as well. So that's the 3rd driver knocked out. We're going to have a very small field here. Now let's see who fills in. Mel Roach gets in. Mel Roach finally gets to bump up into the middle group again. Okay, so we're looking for skill. The next one with skill would be Porter Lilly. Porter Lilly rolls a 1-2-3, so he's looking at Hodnett. Hodnett has 1, plus the bonus is only 2, so Porter Lilly's going to jump up to the 3 spot. Next is Pepper Stockton. He has a 4-3-6, or 4-6-3 rather. 4 is good, 6, but the 3 does not work because Rockefeller has 2 brakes plus the brake bonus. So we go to Larry Hilburn. He has a 1-1-6, so he's looking at Gundy, and with the 6, that's going to be good enough to bump him up. And let's see, skill. That's it. That's it. We move on to turn 5. And we get a 6, which is a dual, and the metallic is 5. So 5 is the number 5 car in the top group. So that would be Branch Montana. So Branch Montana looking to start a duel here. So duels are fairly simple to do. We roll against his gas pedal rating, and he's going to shoot for Larry Hilburn and try to move up to second. We have Branch Montana. He's going to go for the 2nd spot against Larry Hilburn. He's got 4 gas pedals. We roll 1 die. If it's equal or lower, he wins the duel, so he does. He gets to move up to 2nd. Hilburn drops to 6th. Montana gets a performance chip, and Hilburn has to roll against Trouble. So his escape rating is a 7, so anything 7 or lower will escape. He rolls a 10. So now, because he failed the check, we go to the repair rolls and we look at his pit crew, which is a D. We're in the first third. His trouble rating is an 8. We roll again. He rolls an 8, so his pit crew saves him and he gets to remain in the race. And but he does have to go to the end of the bottom group. So he does have, obviously he has some repercussions from that. So Felder will move up to 6th. We'll roll against the gas pedals of Burke. Well, Burke got it. But if Burke had failed, it would go down. And so then you fill in behind, just as we did before. Now we roll to see who fills in there. It's Bowker. And we move on. That was the end of turn 5. We go to turn 6. And we get a 2, which we're still in the early part of the race. So this is the middle group. And it's 6, which is problem. So we have to roll to find out what the problem is. So we use our driver finder tables. And we'll roll our red and white. And we're looking at the middle group, and we got a 61, which is driver 6 odd. So that would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's Jimmy Bowker. Okay, now we'll roll to see what the problem is. And we get a 46 and a 46. Smacks wall, internal damage, roll for repair. Bowker's pit crew is a D. So D, for problem, he needs to roll a 5 or less. He rolls a 7, so Bowker is out of the race. Now we'll roll to see if Dixon can move up. He does. Moving on to turn 7. Normally this would be a pit stop turn, but we do not have pit stops at this track. We roll a 2, which is still middle group, and a 6, which is again a problem. So we're going to roll again to see who has the problem. 65. 65 in the middle group is driver 6 odd again, so Ferris Dixon. And 23 for our problem is the rub, tire rub, drop to front of bottom group. If he has pit crew A or B, no tire rub, he has a C. So he is going to drop here. Let's find out who replaces him. Godfrey Sal has a 4. It's not him. Carl Royal has a 3. It is him. So Royal goes here. And he goes to the top of the bottom group. That was turn 7. On to turn number 8. So it's a 1, which is top group, and a 7, which is heat. So we're on heat in the top group. So we'll start with Aaron Burke. We get a 1, 3, 3. Actually, we don't need the white. But Stoffel's got 4 brakes, so that challenge will not work. Let me take the white out because we're not using it. Felder will try. Felder gets a 1, 5, and that's actually going to work. So Felder is going to take the lead, at least temporarily. And we'll put that there, like so. Kenny Worthington, he rolls a 4 and a 3, but he's got 4 brakes, so that does not work. Lindsay Talby rolls a 3 and a 2. That will not work. Porter Lilly, he rolls a 4 and a 2. That also will not work. And now we have Branch Montana. We'll roll for him. He gets a 3 and a 5, so that means he gets to take it without spending his performance chip. And that is the end of turn number 8. We move on to turn 9. And we get a 3 and a 5. So 5 is smart, and 3 is the middle group. So smart. No, 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 no. Our first smart is Ross Pettis. He rolls a 5, which is good, a 6, which would be Burke, and a 5, which will move him up. So he gets to move up. Now we'll roll for Hodnett. He gets a 1, 3, 1. So 3 is here, but the 1 with that is not going to get it done. So now we come to Steve Lewis. He gets a 5, which is higher than his gas pedal, so that will not work. Lonnie Lane gets a shot at it. He gets a 5, 3, 1. So 5 is good. 3 and 1 is tied with that, so he does not get it either. So we move on to turn number 10, halfway through the race after this turn. We get a 5, 2, 3. Now a 5 here is a duel on this track. So our duel total is 5. So number 5 car in top group. So that would be Stoffel. So Stoffel will go after Felder. He's got 5 for a gas pedal rating. So unless he rolls a 6, he's going to be successful. So he rolls a 2. So just as we saw before, he moves up. He gets a performance chip. And Rocket Felder now has to roll for trouble. He gets an 8. And his escape rating is only a 7. So now we have to check his pit crew rating, which is a D. We are in the middle third now. and the trouble rating is a 6. He rolls a 7, so he fails that as well. And Rocket Felder, unfortunately for him, has been knocked out of the race. Okay, so Pettis will slide up. We'll start rolling. Lonnie Lane has a 5. He rolled a 6, so he doesn't move up. Steve Lewis needs a 3, so it's not him. Norm Gundy has a 5. Norm Gundy takes the spot. So Norm Gundy jumps to 7th. Now we check Dixon, who has a 3, so he gets to move up. That was turn 10. On to turn number 11. 3 and 8. So 3 is middle group and 8 is reflex. So looking for reflex. Mel Roach has it. So we'll start with Mel. And he gets a 2, 1, 3. So 2 is here. Porter Lily is going to lose his spot. Oh, wait. That's wrong. The 1 would be Tommy Stoffel, and the 3 is equal to his break, so that does not work. Almost messed that up. All right, so looking for heat. We move to, actually, no, we're looking for reflex. Reflex, so Aaron Burke. 3, 1, 1. So Burke, that's good. 1 is Stoffel, 1 break, not good enough. Eldon Briscoe. 1, 1, 2, almost triples. So that's good, but the break is not good. Now we go to Rowley Springer, gets a 1, 3, 5, so he's looking here. And he's going to get it because Talby only doesn't have any break, so he just gets 1 for the bonus. And that's it. That's turn 11. On to turn 12, we get a 5, which is a duel, and the number is a 9, which is the number 5 cars in the middle group, so these 2 guys. So we'll do Roach first. So Roach will attempt to move up on Lonnie Lane. Now he needs to roll a 3 or less. He rolls a 6, so he's in trouble. We roll our metallic. We get a 7. His escape is an 8, so he actually dodges the bullet there and gets to stay in the race. Now we move to Bernie Straumer. He's going to go for a, well, why not, right? Let's go for Lonnie Lane. He also would need, and he doesn't get it either. Now his escape is a 10. And he rolls an 8. So that's good. So Bernie Straumer manages, that's a really high escape rating, so he's good. So no action really there. Everything was avoided. On to turn number 12, or 13 rather, we get a 1 and a 4. 1 is top group, 4 is skill. All right, so we're going to have some challenges to Branch Montana here. We have 3 guys with skill. So the first is Kenny Worthington. He gets a 2, 6, 5. So that, the 6 doesn't matter. He's going to spend his chip. They always spend their chip to avoid being losing their spot. So now we go to Porter Lilly. He gets a 4 and a 3. He's got 1. He gets 2 bonus. That's 3. That's not good enough. Now Stoffel rolls a 5 and a 6. So he does have 5 and 6 is good enough. He gets to move up and not use his performance chip. And just like that, we have a new leader, Stoffel, back to the lead here in turn 13. And now we go to turn number 14. And we get a 3, which is middle group, and an 8, which is reflex. No, Mel Roach is the first one who has reflex. And we get a 5, which is no good. So Burke has 4 gas pedals. He gets a 4-2-1, so that's good, but the brake pedal won't be good enough to pass because they get 1 automatically. And Portalilli, even though he has no brake pedals, manages to hold on. Eldon Briscoe with 5 gas pedals, so he's got a 5-5-1. So he's looking at Pettis, and that 1 on the blue die will sink his effort. So we move to Hodnett now, who's got 4 gas pedals, so he rolled too high. Talby also has 4. He rolls too high. No, no, no. So that ends that. Turn 14 in the books. Moving on to turn 15. We get a 4, which is bottom group, and 7, which is heat. So looking for heat in the bottom group. No, no. Petrucci. Okay, so Petrucci gets to try. He's got a red triangle. He rolls a 1-6-4. The 6 is here. We use the blue to determine which one it is. I'm sorry, we use red, I believe. Red 1, so that's Ferris Dixon, and 4 breaks means that he gets to move up. So Dino Petrucci gets into the middle group. All right, looking for heat. Heat. Oh, we have one here too. Forsberg, but his gas pedal's only a 2, so he fails. Lincoln Lesko has a 3, so that also fails. Galgano has 4, also fails. Wilsey Whiteman has the triangle. He rolls a 5, so he's going to have trouble. So we roll, or a problem rather. He rolled a 9, which his escape rating is a 9, so he manages to avoid getting knocked out. Bridges Baker has a 3, so he's got a 2. 4 is here, and it's even, so it's Burke, and the brake pedal's a 5. So Burke gets replaced by Bridges Baker. So the bottom making a little bit of a move here. Now we have a starred option to duel instead of challenge. Interesting. We're going to challenge because we can move up. 1-4-1. So he's challenging Rentschler, and Rentschler has no brake pedal, so no brake rather. So that actually worked for him. Gord McGreevy moving up. And we have Fuzzy Peters, who does have a blue triangle, so he better not roll a 5-6 on the blue, which he does not. 2-5 Straumer, because it's even. So Peters gets to jump back up, or jump up rather, into the 16th spot. And that is the end of turn 15. We're 5 turns away. We're firmly in the last third of the race. We roll a 4, which again is bottom group, and a 10. And a 10 is star. And it says use reflex on last 4 turns, but that's only with trouble. Okay. So we're looking for star. Hilburn has it. He's got 4 gas pedals, so that's good. 2-6. So he's looking at Carl Royal, and he rolled a 4, so that is good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. Even with the brake pedal and the bonus for having the star quality, it's still a 4. So Ferris Dixon with 3. So that's 1, 2. And so he's looking at Talby, and he rolled a 6 on there. So that's going to be good for him. And poor Lindsay Talby drops to 36th. Forsberg only has a 2 gas pedal, but he does roll a 1-6-3. So he's looking at Petrucci, and with 3, that's enough. So Forsberg makes the big move, gets up to 19th. We look at Lincoln Lesko next. He's got a 1, which is good, and a 5. And he's looking at Mel Roach, and the 6 is more than good enough to move up. So Lincoln Lesko. Number 8 car, driving a Lincoln, as you would expect with a name like Lincoln Lesko. He moves up to 18th, or 17th rather, sorry. Star. Ed Belajan. 264. So that's good. 6. So he's looking at Forsberg, 4 brake pedals. Forsberg's not going to be able to beat that off. So he jumps into the top group. Belajan does rather. Eccles has a star rating, but he rolls a 5, so that won't do it. And Godfrey Sell. He rolled a 6, so nope. That's turn 16 in the books. Turn 17, a 3 is middle group, and a number 4. And 4 is skill. So we look here, we got Belajan, or Belarjan, I'm sorry, Belarjan, he's got the skill. He rolls a 5, which is too high. Hilburn also has skill. He rolls a 252. So he's looking here. The 2 will not get it done. We're looking for skill. Bridges Baker gets a 363. So the 3 is good. The 6 is good. The 3 is actually good. He's going to bump Gundy, who does not have skill and therefore cannot beat Bridges Baker off. So Bridges Baker, who started pretty far down, is going to jump up into the 7 spot. That's it. That's the last one. So that is turn 17. 3 turns left. We get a 2, which is now the top group, and a 10. So 10 is star. We're in the top group now. Looking at stars. So Pettis is a star. He's got a 5. Again, we don't need the white. So he rolls a 4 and a 5, and Stoffel will have to use his chip to stay in his possession. We'll move on to Worthington, who is a star and a starred star. So he's 3 and 1. That won't be good enough. He'll get to roll again, though, and gets a 4 and a 1. So the stars are not aligned for him. Rowley Springer, 3 and 3. Also not good enough. The brake pedal not in favor. Now we have Branch Montana, and he rolled a 1 and a 1. So nobody able to knock Tommy Stoffel out of the top spot with just 2 turns left to play here. And we get a 5, which is going to be a duel, and it's a 4. So it's the number 4 car in the top group, which would be Kenny Worthington. He will challenge Branch Montana. He's got a 5, and he's going to do it. He's going to jump up there, and now Montana has to roll for trouble. He gets an 8. His escape is an 8, so he's good. And we move on to the last turn. Last turn of the race. And we get a 1, which is top group, and an 8. And an 8 in the top group is reflex. So we are going to have some challenges. Nobody has a performance tip. We might have ourselves an exciting final round here. We are looking at reflex. Bridges Baker gets to go first. He has a 3. He rolls a 6. Not good enough. Ross Pettis, 4. Oh, the brake pedal gets him. He can't do it. He was good otherwise. We don't need the white. Branch Montana gets a 1 and a 6. Branch Montana jumps back into the top spot here in turn 20. All right. Now we try Rowley Springer. He gets a 5 and a 2, which isn't good enough. Porter Lily gets a 4 and a 4, which is good enough. Porter Lily jumps into the top spot. We have 2 lead changes here on the last turn. And the last one is Kenny Worthington, who gets to take 2 cracks on it. He gets a 5 and a 2, so the first one won't do it. But he does get a second chance, and he rolls a 5 and a 3, and that one will do it, and Kenny Worthington is our champion. So Worthington wins the race. He is the champion of the Spartanburg 100 at the Deep South County Fairgrounds. Worthington started in the 5 spot. And I don't know that he ever got knocked out of the top group. I don't believe he did. So that is your race winner, ladies and gentlemen. Our top 10, Worthington, Porter Lily in second, Branch Montana third, Rowley Springer fourth, Tommy Stoffel in the 99, who was our pole sitter, finishes fifth. Ross Pettis in the 48 is sixth. In the 96 Ford, Bridges Baker, he finishes seventh. Our number 22 Chevy, Lonnie Lane Sr., finishes 8th. Steve Lewis in the 25 is 9th. And rounding out the top 10 in the number 54 Ford, Pepper Stockton. That will do it for this race. We will be back with the third race in the series. I have not yet decided where that race will be or what it will be called, but it will probably not be a dirt track. It'll probably be a speedway or potentially a super speedway. So you'll just have to tune back in for race number 3 to find out. So that's going to do it for now. As always, if you feel like you would like to comment or have a question or point out a mistake, I'm sure I made some, please feel free to do so, and I will reply as best and as soon as I can. I do thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing to the channel if you do enjoy my content. If you are a subscriber, thank you for your continued support. And so that's going to wrap it up. My name's Joe. This is Hexed Encountered. And until next time, happy gaming.